What's going on, guys? It's Jake Camaro here with another initial thoughts for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Now I'd like to apologize, this video is a little bit late. This game was released on August 21st, 2012, so it's been a couple of weeks. That's because I've had a pretty bad cold with a really bad sore throat for the past few days, and I didn't want to put up a video where it was pretty painful to talk and I was coughing a lot and sneezing a lot, but I'm a lot better now. I'm still coughing a little bit, so if you hear me cough at all during this video, that's why. But for the most part, I'm better. I did get the Gears of War 3 Epic Edition. I tried to unbox it. I had a video, but in editing, for some reason, the file got screwed up, so the audio doesn't start until like 10 seconds after the video starts, so it's really delayed. I actually really like the unboxing. I never said it was a really, really good video, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to post it. I am probably going to get quite a few more collector's editions before the fall, of course, and that's when a lot of things are going to be coming out, and you're going to be seeing a lot of unboxings on my channel. So I'm sorry about that, but it's been released for a year, so it's not like there's not any other videos out there that you can watch if you really want to see the Gears of War 3 Epic Edition. So Transformers Fall of Cybertron was released on August 21st, 2011. And it's the follow-up to 2010's amazing Transformers War for Cybertron. I really, really enjoyed that game. It was just a great overall Transformers game and a great shooter. The story was spot on. I loved the co-op campaign, and the multiplayer just kept coming back for a game that's kind of focused on the campaign. I really enjoyed the multiplayer. Transformers Fall of Cybertron is kind of the follow-up to that, and it tries to improve on some of the parts of the original, as well as add some other stuff to it as well. Me and the Ranger 99 did do a demo initial thoughts, but of course we only had hands-on with the demo, and only one map, and only 2 game modes, and only a couple characters. And I'm going to be giving a lot more thoughts on it as I've played pretty much every part of this game that it has to offer. I've played a little bit of Escalation, I've beat the campaign, and I have maxed out Scientist in multiplayer. So right now, I'm playing Team Deathmatch. I'm doing pretty good, and this video is actually going to be like a 2-video video. Like, you're going to be seeing this gameplay, and then you're going to be seeing another gameplay. In this one, I do okay. It's one of the new maps, of course, and then the next one, I'm actually on Array, the map from the demo, and I just do crazy on it. You'll see, but the game is we do so good. It's really, really short, so I had to include something else, and this kind of gives you some hands-on with another map. Sorry, just wipe my nose right there. So Transformers Fall of Cybertron's campaign, that's where I'll start this out. It's a really, really good campaign. Like I actually did see, and which I did predict, and I was right. The Exodus mission was the first mission of the full game campaign. It was pretty much exactly the same. There was a little added on to the ending. I'm gonna try not to spoil anything for the campaign. I'll stay fairly spoiler-free and talk mostly about the gameplay other than the story. I will say a couple things, but most things you already know. So then you kind of play as Optimus Prime a little bit, and it's a little bit different than War for Cybertron's campaign in a couple regards. One, the Autobots are all, like in War for Cybertron. Let me give you a little perspective. It was basically 2 campaigns. You basically started out with one Decepticon campaign, which was a handful of Decepticon missions that were based quite a bit before the Autobot missions. Once you finished with those, you played the Autobot missions that were a continuation of the story, and that's where it kind of was. In this one, it's kind of both campaigns are happening at the same time. So the game pretty much starts as you with Bumblebee, and then it goes on to a couple Optimus Prime missions, a couple Jazz mission, a Cliff Jumper mission. Then you actually play as some Decepticons, like Megatron, Starscream. Then you get to play as Grimlock a little bit. Then you go to this like crazy mismatch of a bunch of different characters for kind of the finale of the campaign. And then you have this really cool showdown between Optimus Prime and Megatron. It's really fun. I'm not going to tell you how it ends or anything, but it's really, really cool, and it's definitely a great climax to a pretty good series. So, the mission layouts are very different from War for Cybertron. It's very character-specific, because this game, unlike its predecessor, does not have co-op campaign. In War for Cybertron, you could play with up to 2 other friends, so you and another person, that's for a total of 3 people, and you could choose between one of 3 Autobots, or Decepticons. So say if you're playing a Autobot mission, you can play as either Ratchet, Bumblebee, or Optimus Prime, and all those characters can get through the mission exactly the same. And because all those characters were pretty much the same, the level had to stay pretty much the same. There wasn't really that much creativity involved with the gameplay. Not to say it wasn't a bad campaign, it's just, it was very, you walked into a room, you shot people, you transformed maybe, and then you just kept going. In this one, it's very, very different. For example, in the first couple of missions, Optimus Prime controls Metroplex, and that's a really cool gameplay element. You can both call him in to destroy stuff that continues on the mission. You can also just call him in to take out some Decepticons, which is really, really nice, and it very changes up the story and the gameplay. That's one thing. That was what I was pretty disappointed with this, the removal of co-op. I didn't have that many friends who had War for Cybertron, and I'm actually going to have a lot more that have are going to buy Fall of Cybertron. I actually recorded some live commentaries with my friend Night Shadow, and I'm going to put those up within the next couple of days. But it's really, really cool. But cooperative campaign, I think I understand why they removed it, but I think that I'm just kind of disappointed that it's not in the game. But I understand, and I'm not going to be mad about it because of it. And I'd rather have the differences in the levels and gameplay than co-op campaign. Plus, you've got all the other game modes, which I'll get into in a second. So, one other thing with the campaign is something called the Teletrain 1 story. Now, this is a completely different type gameplay element to it. So basically, every time you kill an enemy, you gain Energon. And you kind of saw this in the demo, but you can use it. So basically, you get 10 Energon for killing this guy, 20 Energon for killing this guy, and it kind of racks up. Then you come to these Teletrain 1 stores, which are kind of scattered throughout the levels, and you can choose specializations, new weapons, you can upgrade weapons, and it's kind of like a progression in the campaign. And I've actually played the campaign several times just to get more and more credits, and then you've also got a really cool community ranking system, and I'm trying to get some of the achievements for that, like ranking everything, unlocking everything, stuff like that. And then one other thing with the campaign is that the levels are very different. In War for Cybertron, it was very bland. The levels looked the same, because it wasn't the developer's fault, it was just the story. You're on a robotic planet. It's not, you can't do many creative things with it, but in War for Cybertron, they really, in Fall of Cybertron, they really went above that, so every single level looks very, very different, and I really like that, and it kept me kind of hooked, like, where am I going to go next, what kind of gameplay elements am I going to use next, and how's the story going to progress. So the campaign, I definitely like it, and if you're a huge Transformers fan, I would definitely pick it up. The next thing I'm going to cover is Escalation. Now, Escalation was introduced in War for Cybertron. I never really played it that much, but in Fall of Cybertron, it's really cool. Escalation is kind of like the survival game mode we've gotten from games like Gears of War, Halo, and some other ones like Call of Duty, but that's a little bit different. So, Escalation basically puts you in an environment where it starts out small, and then you build it up, so you unlock doors and stuff like that, using credits. And you play as characters from the campaign. You can play with up to three other people, and choose different difficulty settings, judging on how you want to play. Me and my friend played it, almost got to wave 15, and got the achievement, but unfortunately we're not able to. It only ships with 4 maps, that's a little bit disappointing, but probably they're going to add more. So if you're willing to shell out some more Microsoft points, some digital money, you'll most likely be able to get some more maps. Finally, multiplayer. Now, this is what's going to keep you coming back, because even though the campaign, like I said with the Teletrain 1 store, is very, it kind of wants you to come back and keep earning stuff, you're not going to be playing the same missions over and over again, and the multiplayer is extremely robust. What you saw in the demo was pretty much a kind of sample of it, but it's really fleshed out in the full game. In the full game, you still have your character classes, your Infiltrator, your Titan, your Destroyer, and your Scientist. I'm playing Scientist, and it has switched over to the next gameplay. So you can basically choose those, and then you choose a weapon, and then 2 weapons, 1 primary, 1 secondary. They come from the same list, and then you can choose one as your primary, 1 for your secondary, and then different upgrades based on it. So I have one upgrade where in this Proton Burst Rifle, when I'm aimed down sights, I actually can see my enemy's health, and that's really helpful to me because I can see, should I get out of there, should I keep shooting, am I gonna have to reload? It's really, really cool. You've got your normal ability, so like mine right now is heal. For Destroyer, you've got shield. for Titan, you've got the like turn thing where like they spin around and they just do an epic melee attack and kill anyone who's close to them, and then invisibility for Scout and heal for Scientist. I mentioned one of those previously, but sorry about that. So then you can customize your character, and you kind of saw a little bit of it in the demo. The rest of the stuff was unlocked. All that's back. It's really, really cool. My character, as you can see, looks nothing like I had in the demo. There's a lot more stuff. I basically, unlike some other people who might, because you can choose, like, if you want him to look like your Scout to look like Bumblebee, you can do that. If you want your Destroyer to look like Optimus, you can do that. If you want your Scientist to look like Starscream, you can do that. But you can also customize your character to like fit your needs and be completely unique. So mine's got pretty much a little bit of everything in there. My head I've actually maxed out, so I've got a hunter head, which is like a pterodactyl. It's really cool, and it's actually from the Dinobots. Then you've got something called Prime Mode. If you get to level 25 in every class, or maxed out every class, you can unlock Prime Mode, which basically unlocks exclusive armor, and it's really cool. I believe there's 4 Prime levels of Prime, and then you can like the last one, Prime 100, and the first one is Prime, then there's Prime 25, then Prime 100. So I'm thinking every Prime is 25, or there's 100 Primes, which I think would be ridiculously hard to get. It's like that the character with the crown on their head, which is really cool. You got Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Starscream, and that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm ever gonna make it there. Like I said, I've maxed out Scientist. I'm going for Infiltrator next. I'll see what happens, and definitely if I get that, I'll put up some gameplay of that and show you that that crown piece. The maps are, you've got Array, of course, back from the demo, and then you've got quite a few other ones. They're very different. They're not the same, just like in Campaign, and just like in like instead of in War for Cybertron, the maps are very different. None of them are gonna look the same. I'm still learning like where the health and ammo is throughout the map. But it's pretty easy to learn. The maps are very colorful, much more than War for Cybertron, and they're just definitely really fun to play on. They're all very balanced maps. There's one map where I recorded gameplay before the first gameplay you saw, and people were like standing up on top of this like structure that probably shouldn't have been. You're not able to stand up on that structure, sniping them, but that's not a big deal. That'll probably be patched. Matchmaking is pretty fast. Sometimes it takes a little while, which you'll see in my live gameplay, where we actually show how long it takes to join a match. It takes anywhere from 5 seconds to 25 seconds. This game is definitely not dead yet, but it's a really fun game. Finally, you've got some downloadable content. Now, if you pre-order from GameStop, you got, of course, the Optimus Generation 1 character, as well as the Generation 1 pack, which included some extra weapons and stuff. I pre-ordered from Amazon, so I got the Generation 2 Bruticus for Campaign. Bruticus is kind of like all the Combaticons, which are Decepticons, kind of transformed into this like gigantic robot, which kind of, you could compare him to kind of the Metroplex, except quite smaller. And then there's actually a little bit of Day 1 DLC. For 800 Microsoft points, you can unlock some extra character skins. You get 5. I think 2 are for Destroyer, and then you got 1 for Titan, 1 for Infiltrator, and 1 for Scientist. I can't remember all of them, but I know that one of the Destroyers are Zeta Prime. I can't remember all of them. It's an okay value if you don't like Day 1 DLC. You don't have to get it, but I suggest picking it up because it's some pretty cool items. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I would recommend this game to any Transformers fan. It's really fun, and I would definitely pick it up if you're into this genre. So if you like this video, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.